3. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Advisor with Stacey Chillemi. Today, I'm very excited because we have our very special guest today. It is Caroline, and she is a marketer, and she is part of our podcast community. You'll find her on our podcast community page, and you'll also find her on our podcast under The Advisor. She has her own podcast, and she has her own episodes. And if you really want to learn about how giveaways can add value to your business, listen to her, because she's going to talk about that today, along with some other stuff that she's talked about in the past that could really advance your business, make an extra income, and really help you in lots of different areas monetarily. So Caroline, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Tell everybody a little about yourself and what you do. And I want to hear about how giveaways could add value to businesses, because I think that's an excellent topic that a lot of companies don't do enough of.
Well, it's actually to me, I'm completely biased. It's I'll say, funnest way to market your business, because who doesn't like to win? And if you have a marketing tool that can not only make someone a potential customer or one of your customers a winner, then you also win. And so I really love doing that. Now, what happened to me on my path was I went to school, graduated marketing, and then I did every job in the marketing department you can imagine. And at one point, I got caught in the dot-com crunch and was laid off. And I read an article in Reader's Digest about a couple that entered sweepstakes as a hobby. And I thought, good idea. I can do that. I don't have to work. I'll just win stuff. It does not work that way. I have never been able to earn my living winning. However, because I was able to put on my marketer's hat towards the hobby, I was very successful at winning. And then I started to teach other people how to win. As the contest queen, what came with that was companies could see what I was doing and wanted me to help them promote their giveaways. And so now I have another business called Idea Majesty, and I use that and I work with companies on the other side of the giveaways and helping them, create promotions. I've pre-vet promotions. Always a good idea to have a second set of eyes, just like editing a book. It's always a good idea to have a second set of eyes, or third. And then I also help viral market those giveaways. And sometimes I catch mistakes, but I also share with other businesses how they can use giveaways as a great tool in their marketing tool belt.
Yeah.
Because even though they should have a full marketing plan, and it doesn't have to be sophisticated.
Right.
A lot of small businesses are 1 to 5 people. You don't have to have something extensive, but you're going to want the usual, your website, your email list, your social media. And that's where you're going to start to host your giveaways. It's actually not as complicated as people think. But the one thing I like to teach people is Simon Sinek always says, what's your why? Well, it's the exact same thing with sweepstakes. Why do you want to host the promotion? Are you opening a new location and have a grand opening and want to use it for an announcement? Are you launching a new product? Great way to get eyeballs on a brand new product. Are you, it could be anything. Is it a new menu? Are you a restaurant? Or is it the holiday season and you want to just give something away each season? Are you a seasonal product? Like if you're a barbecue company, hosting giveaways maybe in your slow season to get eyeballs on your company when things are not as busy might be a good way to boost that in, say, January, when everybody's thinking of barbecues in April and May. Right? You can pick something up in the lull. There's lots of different whys, why you want to run a giveaway. And so you have to look at your why. And then your why is also going to determine what you're going to do. So for example, if you want to get more likes on Instagram, not rocket science, you're going to host an Instagram giveaway. If you want to get more email subscribers, you're going to host a giveaway where it requires people to sign up to your newsletter. Right? There's, you can tie in your why. And
Yeah.
and it doesn't even have to cost a lot. One of my favorite stories I tell businesses is I was cleaning my office. I've been to many, many sweepstakes conventions. I had a ton of swag and I was moving. I thought, I don't want to move this. I made batches, photographed it, put it on Instagram, gave it away. So
Mhm.
now I had content, I had engagement, I cleared my office, and it only cost me a bit of time and postage.
Yeah.
That was the expense of the giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be really sophisticated. I mean, restaurants still have fish bowls for you to throw in your business card.
Yeah. Mhm.
Why not?
Right.
Why not? People are in there. If you're
Yeah.
coming in, we give away one dinner every month. Throw
Right.
in your card. Add them. We'll put you on the newsletter list so we let you know what our specials are.
Right.
It can be as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really it's you have to be a little bit creative.
Right.
You have to, put your thinking cap on a little bit. Don't just do something for the sake of doing something. I see this a lot at Christmas time because I label it sweepstakes season because every company you can think of is hosting the 12 days of giveaways, the 24 days of giveaways, end
Right.
of season giveaways, and there's so many that you could get lost in the shuffle. And some companies think, oh, we should just have a giveaway. Don't just have a giveaway for the sake of having a giveaway. That's
Right.
why I say at the beginning, it should always be part of your overall marketing plan. Look at the year. Actually, January is a great time, or end of December is a great time to do this. Pull up the next year's calendar, look at all the marketing activities you're going to do throughout the year, and which ones would a giveaway fit well into? Like, where would that dovetail as part of that plan? So almost 12, depending on when you're doing it, up to 12 months in advance. So you're prepared with
Yeah.
your timing and your tools and your prizes.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
great.
yeah, it's really simple. And you don't even have to have super sophisticated rules. If you're using some of the tools they provide them with you, like Rafflecopter or WooBox
Mm-hmm.
and Gleam have generic rules built in. If you're doing something on Instagram, just make sure you have eligibility, who can enter, frequency, how often they can enter, when does it end?
Right.
Those ones I see missing all the time on Instagram. And then if
Mm-hmm.
there's any other clauses, there's been some where companies were giving prizes away and then they want you to come in the store, but they didn't tell anybody that in the rules.
Yeah.
And then they draw a winner. Oh, you're too far away.
Right.
So, make sure that you cover cross all your T's and dot all your I's.
Yeah.
If you are doing a promotion, that's where I get called a lot to pre-vet before you launch. Always a good
Yeah.
idea.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I said, no one runs a giveaway out of the goodness of their heart. It's part of that marketing plan. So some
Yes.
other reasons you might want to host a giveaway, attract, like I said before, attract attention to your brand, product, or service. Of course, increase sales.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a white paper that I have now. It's a little bit old, but the information hasn't changed. It was when it was ePrize, and they did a white paper saying sweepers make better consumers.
Mm.
Because what happens is a lot of sweepers love to enter giveaways, but they find brands and products and services that they never would have heard of if it wasn't for the giveaway.
Right.
And a lot of them find new things that they love and then also tell all their friends about.
Right.
Like, hey, I won this. This is a fantastic. Oh my gosh, I'm going to buy it now because this is
Yeah.
great. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
expect this. And so it's a wonderful way to increase. Also, if you have current customers, like I tell people subscribe to the company newsletters because a lot of times they'll have exclusive giveaways. So you
Yeah.
have to be a subscriber to get that link to go and enter,
Right.
or get the clue to get an extra entry or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to increase loyalty and increase that customer database. And if you've never started, if your company's new or you've never done it before, it's a great way to start what they call permission marketing, where you're allowed to talk to people. Social media has really ramped that up.
Yeah.
It used to be more important when it was just email, but now
Right.
you can talk to people on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I don't know. Am I missing any? YouTube.
Right. No, they're all there.
They're all there. Now, there's 5 method of entries. Now, some have fallen a little more to the wayside than others over time. The hobby has changed, but there's
Yeah.
in person. So this is good for anybody that has a bricks and mortar store,
Yeah.
or you do pop-up events. You could do something if you have a pop-up event. Then, of course, is the old standby phone in on the radio.
Yeah.
I don't know how many radio stations are listening, but they're probably already all having the giveaways.
Mhm.
There's mail-in or snail mail.
Yeah.
I don't know many companies that are doing those anymore, but if you're a medium to larger size company and you're having a bigger promotion, especially if it requires receipts or purchase, you have to have the no purchase entry in the rules. So that's when you're probably going to get those mail-ins. And then, of course, online or via the internet. And then there's still some text messaging ones.
Right.
So that's a possibility depending on what your business is and how you connect to your um, customers and your prospects. But of course, online and internet used to be very small, and it is now like 90% of the pie.
Yeah.
And then, of course, internet breaks down to, website, online form, social media, et cetera.
Right.
And there's also all kinds of tools out there for companies. If you're a little bit of a larger company and you have a bit of a budget, you can use a tool like WooBox or Gleam
Yeah.
to run giveaways for you. And they don't just offer sweepstakes, they offer all kinds of programs that you can use. So you can use it for couponing, you can use it for loyalty programs, you can use it for different types of giveaways. So hashtag giveaways. So you say, hey, if you're a pet food company, take a picture of your pet this Halloween in a costume, post it on Instagram with this hashtag, and then you go into your program, put in that hashtag, it pulls in all the entries,
Yeah.
and then you can do a drawing from that. They have so many options. It's fantastic, and it takes all the work. Like, you think to yourself, well, how am I going to find all these entries? And how am I going
Yeah.
to do a legal drawing?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of tools out there that are fairly inexpensive
Yeah.
that can allow you to do all types of things. So there's Instagram giveaways, hashtag giveaways, photo, giveaways. You can do video ones. Get your customers involved.
Right.
And then also have someone in the company test it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've done presentations at ad agencies that have all the larger companies. And I say,
Yeah.
okay, so how many of you test it, go and enter after it launches?
Mm-hmm.
None of them did. And I said, why don't you do it? They said, we can't win. I said, yeah, but you control the database. You can
Right.
either go in and delete those entries,
Yeah.
or if they happen to get picked in the final drawing, then just delete them at
Right.
the end. It doesn't matter. You're not going to let them have the prize. But
Yeah.
if you have trouble entering, then the average Joe isn't going to enter if
Right.
something's too confusing. So please
Yeah.
test it. Please test it. It sounds so obvious,
It
but it's
does, but
amazing how many people don't.
yeah.
And then the other thing, a lot of companies are getting better at this, but not enough, in my opinion, is
Mm-hmm.
what is labeled as back-end marketing. Companies are screaming for content, and yet they never post the results.
Yeah. You never see that.
You never see that. And you don't even have to be, um, divulgent about it, because somebody might worry about their privacy. So for
Yeah,
example, all you would have to do, say you ran a giveaway,
yeah,
and you would just post on your Instagram, oh, Stacy from New Jersey was our October winner. Congratulations. Make sure you stay following us to see what our next giveaway is going to be. And
right.
people will be like, oh, okay, I didn't win this one, but I'm going to watch. Some of them, there's some that I follow, they have the person come into the store because it's a national chain. So whatever store is near them,
Yeah,
and they take a picture with them and the prize.
right.
And that goes on their social. So people see actual people. Most people don't mind, actually. They're so excited that they won
Yeah,
that they are, and they're so happy they won. They go ahead and allow the pictures. I don't mind it. I think it's good for companies to show real people winning.
I definitely do. Hmm.
And again, then you have more content to
Yeah.
share, and then people feel sweepstakes aren't a scam. I get all that all the time
Hmm.
when I'm, sharing giveaways
Yeah.
or talking about learning how to win. And people
Yeah.
say, oh, it's a scam.
Hmm.
Trust me, it's not. I've won
Right.
a lot of prizes. I've had a good month. I've won 2 sets of concert tickets and a set of theater tickets.
Wow.
I like the date night prizes. They're always good.
Hmm.
And it's funny because sometimes I win big, like I've won a huge TV, I've won trips, and then I win tickets, or I win, something small. I like the up and down. It's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but and none of those companies ever come back and say, share your stuff on social, use this hashtag, or I always
Yeah.
try and be mindful. I always thank the sponsor. I always take pictures and say, thank you. We had such a wonderful time, or this
Right.
arrived and we're so happy, or whatever. I
Yeah.
always try and thank the sponsor, because if you are if you kept giving somebody gifts and they never thanked you, after a
Right.
while you're like, this isn't, nobody's
Yeah.
appreciating any of the effort.
Right.
So that's the problem. I wear two crowns, I call it. So I've got
Yeah.
my marketer's crown on and I've got my entrance crown on. So I always try and teach the entrants to think like the marketers and get the marketers to think like the entrants. So if you're a marketer and you're hosting a giveaway, well, what would you like to win? What would you like to see if you
Exactly.
were the one entering? And then it
Mhm.
helps also with the creativity and designing the promotion
Yeah.
and what they're going to do as part of their planning. It just makes it easier to do
Right.
that. And like I said before, make sure you have those rules in there. Now, if you can have small rules that are just, short on a good Instagram post, or if
Yeah.
you're being more sophisticated, some of them will actually say link in bio for the full rules, and it will link to a page
Hmm.
on their website that's been written by a promotional lawyer, depending on the size of your business and the
Right.
size of the giveaway. It's, just like, don't get your Uncle Fred, who's doing real estate law, to write your
Yeah.
rules. Just like there's corporate law, criminal law, real estate law, estate law, there is actually promotional law, and there's lawyers that specialize in giveaway rules. Crazy, right?
Hmm.
But it's really important to have someone who understands the ins and outs, because this is something companies might not realize.
Yeah.
The rules or a legal and binding contract between the entrant and the sponsor are always written in favor of the sponsor, obviously, that
Yeah.
can be used in a court of law.
Hmm.
And I have said this, I've never seen it ever go to court to that
Right.
sophisticated degree, except when we watched the documentary McMillions about the scandal. It's not a scam, it was a scandal,
Hmm.
about the scandal. And I think it was, I don't know, spoiler alert, like the fourth episode, where the attorney general used the rules in court That's how what they used as their argument, the
Oh, okay.
prosecutor. And I jumped up off the couch. George says to me, sit down, relax. I said, I knew it. The rules are legal. They can be held up in a court of law. But it's important because you need to protect yourself, especially as the sponsor.
Right.
Just like you have insurance for your car, you need
Yeah.
insurance for your sweepstakes, and those rules are your insurance.
Right.
They have clauses in those rules that say, if something happens, we can just shut the promotion down. For example, if there's a technical glitch,
Yes.
they have the backing to change something. If a prize isn't available, there's always clauses that they can substitute the prize with
Right.
something equal or greater value. It's up to them. I've had
Yeah.
that happen to me one time. I I won a guitar, an electric guitar. I was so excited. It was a gift that I won. That's the other thing. I love winning when I'm going to use them as gifts. Really saves the budget. And the model that was in the rules wasn't available. So they sent me a note and said, hey, this isn't what we had promised. We think you're absolutely going to love it though. And they actually sent me a check for the difference,
Wow.
which I was really surprised. I was like, okay, I was happy either way. But I
Yeah.
thought that was very generous because legally they didn't have to do that. But they also knew that they didn't want to disappoint someone that buys their products, because they do
Yeah.
buy the products.
Right.
And they wanted to keep me as a loyal customer.
Right.
And so they happened to do that. So it's fun. But there's
Yeah.
so many ins and outs, but the rules, depending on the size of your promotion, can be as simple as a little packet on Instagram that says, hey, it's open to those in this state only, because you just want this group, depending on the size of your
Yeah.
business. And it's it ends on October 31st, and you have to come to our store to pick it up.
Right.
And please just tag one friend in the comments, and that's it. Like, simple and clean, short, right up to where they do, national giveaways by Fortune 500 companies. And I've seen rules be like 14 pages long, depending on the sophistication of the uh, promotion.
Yeah.
They can be like one page up to 14 or 15,
Yeah.
based on the sophistication. They have a lot of some of the big multinational corporations will have your um app giveaways now. They get
Yeah.
you to The companies like want you to use their app to order product
Right.
or service, and then you get entries that way and you collect points. And so those rules are really sophisticated. And that's why I make sure that there's no excuse not to have rules, even if you're a small business. And
Right.
like I said, it doesn't have to be expensive.
Mhm.
You can use anything from your own swag,
Yeah.
right? I actually have my own swag that I give away all the time. I'm always
Mm.
ordering stickers and things, like when I give away prizes at events.
Mhm.
And actually, I started doing where I was hiding prizes at events, and
Oh,
I put
really?
a tag on them that said, if you find this, come find me at the event and you can win another prize. So people were like scouring the convention hall for like these little packets. I used to put like chocolates and different things inside. And it
Yeah.
was fun. It didn't cost me a lot. I went to the dollar store and bought the mini chocolate bars
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
put them in little packs with a little piece of paper. The attendees were scouring, and I put 5 before each session.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, did they get them all away yet? And then last year it was in Vegas, and I thought, I can't hide anything in Vegas. This isn't going to work. Because usually we're in a small, like next year I can do it again. We're going to be in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay.
The year before was Phoenix, and Phoenix is big, but we had taken over the whole hotel. I can't remember how
Yeah.
many hundreds of people showed up, but we
Mhm.
basically took over the hotel. So I was able to do it, even though it was a large venue. But in
Mhm.
Las Vegas, I couldn't do it. So I did it on Instagram. and I did a
Right.
carousel with trivia questions, and the first three people that found me and gave me the right answer won the prize pack. So there's all different kinds of ways to do it. You can do like those are in-person events that are just for the attendees of the convention, but it's fun, and it, like I said, it doesn't have to be super sophisticated for get people to follow you.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
You
Oh,
just
that's
have to be creative.
yeah. And I feel like in our society, especially, people want things easy because if it's not easy to apply for the giveaway, if there's too much to read, if it, I think people won't do it. I think it has to
Mm,
be very easy and brief and to the point and just like one or two things to fill out and that's it. Because I think more than that,
yeah.
people fly away from it.
Again, it goes back to the why, because for entrants, the more barriers to entry there are, the less entries are going to be. So as an entrant, you want sometimes the difficult giveaways because your odds of winning are better if you are the creative type.
Okay.
Um, so for example, one of my friends, he's a very good cook. So he enters the recipe giveaways, and recently one of his got picked and he
Mhm.
went to a regional cook-off.
Oh,
It was
wow.
much harder outside of his own kitchen, and he's not a professional chef, so he didn't win the region to go on to the national, but he still
Yeah.
won a trip to go and try.
Yeah.
But less people are going to enter because you have to have some skills
Right.
with the sponsor's product, right?
I
Because
see.
it was a cook-off
Yeah.
to be able to get to that level. So sometimes, depending on what your company does,
Right.
right? This was a bread company, I think. So that he made a like a burger, but he did a seafood burger,
Yeah.
and the pictures were phenomenal. And but unfortunately, when you're not in your own kitchen, sometimes things don't work out. So he couldn't
Yeah.
get it to work the same.
Right.
But at least he got that far.
Yeah. Oh, for
And
sure.
yeah, so depending on what your company does, you may want to make something a little bit harder
Yeah.
for that specialty, because now that company has all these recipes that they can use throughout the whole year
Right.
of, they can take those recipes because that's part of the rules again, and they own them, and
Yeah.
they can now go into their own test kitchen and recreate them and then use them all year long. Hey, this was one of our submissions from
Mhm.
last year's giveaway,
Right.
and you know this person made it to the regionals. Try our recipe, try this recipe for XYZ burger, seafood smash or whatever he called it. And
Yeah.
then the next one they can say, oh, so and so submitted this vegan one, and somebody submitted
Right.
this beef, and so then they have a whole year's worth of marketing material.
Yeah.
But they're, like I said, I would say they're a medium-sized business versus a small business. So again,
Wow.
it also depends on your marketing budget.
Yeah. Very true.
And they don't, like I said before, they don't just come up with that. They plan that, from January. Okay, what's our marketing budget? How much do we want to spend? And now they have all this marketing material for the next year. So it's
Yeah.
part of their overall plan. They just didn't decide, oh, we're just going to fly all these people all over the country and try these different
Yeah.
things.
Do you think how many times a year do you think brings real value to a company? Like how many times should people have a giveaway? Should it be during each holiday, major holiday, or is it certain times of the year that really bring value when you do giveaways? Is there a certain formula that
I
works
think
for?
it depends on the business. Like I do one for my business every month. I have a
Mhm.
monthly giveaway.
Okay.
And so that gives me value to keep people, coming back and coming to my blog and entering and learning. And so
Yes.
that's what I do a monthly giveaway. But some
Yeah.
businesses may suit better, quarterly or just annually. And again, it depends on the size of the giveaway. Like the bread company who did a cook off, they're probably hosting one a year, but it's
Yeah.
a big one, and then
Right.
it gives them marketing material for the whole year, and then they could ramp up for next year's event. It's kind of like
Right.
the most famous one of that is the Pillsbury cook-off. Their grand
Yeah.
prize is $1 million.
Oh, wow.
Their rules are very sophisticated. They have like I think they have like 15 different categories. You know, you can have breakfast and brunch and savory and sweet and, like they have all the different categories. So you can submit, I think, up to so many recipes per category. So people enter and they test them. I do know somebody that won to the final cook-off. I think they narrow it down to so many per category, and then the winner of each category goes to one last cook-off.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's quite the thing. And so they do one a year. Uh,
It
but
takes a
like I said, look at what you're doing. It could be quarterly, it could be seasonally.
Mhm.
So you might want to do spring, summer, fall, and winter. You might want to do like monthly. You might want to do January 1st, March 1st, June 1st, or July 1st, sorry, and October 1st.
Mhm.
You have to, again, this is why I always bring it back to the marketing. A lot of people start with the end. Well, we want to give away this prize. No, back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up.
Right.
What's your marketing plan for the year?
Yeah.
And then where do you fit into that?
Right.
And then you can figure it out. Because you might want to do one a week. There's companies that I know that host weekly giveaways. So they're giving
Right.
away stuff 52 weeks a year.
Yeah.
Um, Again, it depends on what you're doing, um, and what you've got going on.
Wow. I like that
Yeah.
idea. I think doing giveaways does bring a lot of value to any business, and even people who had like do services, give away a free service that's worth, X amount of dollars, and see if you can bring people in too, because it doesn't even have to be just a product. It could be a service.
Oh, it could be a service. I've won hairdressing, I've won makeup application, I've won my nails done, I've won massage, I've won um a house cleaning. Oh, I love that one. I won a dinner party once
Oh, wow.
from a beer company. They sent chefs to my house. They even brought the cutlery. They just took over my kitchen and I just put a table out with a tablecloth. They brought the glasses, they brought the beer, they brought the food, they brought everything.
Oh,
It was
wow.
fantastic, and they packed it all up and took it all when they left. It was
That is
great.
amazing. Oh my goodness.
Right? You can
Oh,
win all kinds of things. Like that's what I said. You also could, get creative
yeah.
when giving out your prizes, because there's no limit. The
Yeah.
limit is your imagination, and that
Right.
is limitless. So
Yeah.
you can do anything. And that's the other thing. I just said this, it was a beer company, but you can partner up. So
Yeah.
if you're, a hair salon and there's a clothing store next door,
Yeah.
partner with them and give somebody a complete makeover. You get an outfit from this store and you get a new hair from and makeup from our store.
Right.
You know, it's cross marketing. I mean, companies are doing it all the time. The big companies are doing it.
Yeah.
Coke and Oreo just did one,
Oh, wow.
right? Right? Like who would think?
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah. You could do so much with a giveaway. And once you get one good happy customer, word of mouth goes a long way. And you could really bring business, like you said, content. Now you have a lot of free content that you could easily create, and you could use it to your advantage. There's so many things you could do with a giveaway. Now, if you
Well,
had to look at all the things that we talked about today, what are some of the things you really like to emphasize to the listeners that you really want them to understand, especially business owners who are listening to this?
okay, so the first one is make sure it's just part of your overall marketing plan and put it in the marketing plan. So make sure that's on the agenda when you're designing, the next year's plan.
Yeah.
And then use your imagination. Like be limitless. There's no box.
Yeah.
This is the box. Your
Mm-hmm.
mind's the box, so it's anything. And
Yeah.
keep yourself open to ideas coming from anywhere. You'd be amazed at who will say something to you that'll tweak an idea.
Right.
And the last thing is, which should actually be the first thing, is always have rules.
Yeah.
Because for an entrant, my number one tip is always read the rules so they don't
Right.
disqualify themselves. And for marketers, it's the exact same advice, just conversely, always make
Yeah.
sure you have a good set of rules.
Right. Right.
The rules is always number one, even though I give it as my third tip all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. And this is great for entrepreneurs. You don't really see entrepreneurs using giveaways, but this is a great, tactic to really get clients and to really boost your business. If you're a coach or if you're a entrepreneur of some type of business, whether it be product or service, they should consider doing a giveaway because you don't really see many entrepreneurs doing giveaways. That you get free downloads on their website, but you don't see them really giving a giveaway. And that could probably be a very good advantage.
Yeah, it's a great tool. And like I said, don't just have a giveaway for the sake of having a giveaway, and don't give away something that's not tied to you.
Right.
If you're an artist, it makes
Hmm.
sense to give away a painting, not, a gift card to a website
Right.
or to the local coffee shop, unless you're having an art exhibit at the coffee shop,
Yeah.
right? Like, to always tie it to
Yeah.
what you do or serve or sell
Right.
in some capacity. Like I
Yes.
said, I gave away a lot of swag that I received from conventions. Well, it tied into my audience because it was all green and had four-leaf clovers on it and said lucky. And,
Yeah.
it was something that my audience would be like, oh, I like that.
Yeah,
But it
exactly.
wasn't my branded stuff. It didn't, I do
Right.
sell I'm Lucky shirts.
I
You
love
have to you have to think I know you have a lot of people on here and it's all mindset, right? You have to think you're lucky before you are. You have to
Yeah.
think you're successful before you are.
Right.
You have to believe that a promotion, a giveaway is going to be a good marketing tool for you before it is. And then you
Exactly.
just have to figure out how to dovetail that into what you're doing.
Right. I love it. I love it. And where can people find you?
Well, for marketing, it's Idea Majesty, of course, because I was the contest queen. I had to keep the crown on for the marketing side of the business. So I
I
went with Idea Majesty
love
because
it.
it's all about those ideas.
Yes, it is. It totally is. Now, what are some of the services you offer in your marketing programs?
Well, my most popular one is my viral marketing service. If you're having a giveaway and it's not like the Field of Dreams, you shall build it, they will come.
Yeah.
I promote, so I do everything from an exclusive blog to an exclusive newsletter blast to promoting it on various sites. And I even started doing videos because that wasn't a part of it before, but now I do TikToks and reels and stories and
Hmm.
talking about the giveaways,
Yeah,
which is fun. I love doing those ones because who doesn't like to win?
exactly. Now, before we go, is there anything else you'd like to add to this conversation that we may not have covered about giveaways and how it gives value to the businesses?
I don't think so. I think we covered it because it's just a fun way to add to your marketing plan
Yeah.
that's, exciting for you and exciting for your customers and your potential customers.
Yeah.
Because when you do something like that, it's going to reach a new audience.
Yes, 100%.
And that's the nice thing with the new social media. It doesn't just go to those people that follow you. It's
Yeah.
starting to be shared to people that may have that same interest in
Right.
what you're doing, and
Yeah.
also people that may never have seen you before. So it's
Right.
getting you in front of new eyeballs, which is what we all want as entrepreneurs and
Yeah.
businesses, is to get in front of new people.
Right. No, this is a definitely great way to get in front of a new audience, because if you really want to expand your businesses, you have to move to and try to tap into other audiences besides the ones you already have. And that would be that's a great way to have business growth for sure. I love
Oh,
this.
and it's the funnest, like I said, to me, poor grammar, it's the funnest way. But
I-
it's a good word, the funnest. It's the
yeah,
funnest way to market your business. I'm really biased because I love helping companies design and execute those giveaways.
yeah,
And I've done everything from draw winners to fulfill prizes for businesses,
yeah,
emailing those potential winners, because they're always potential until they come back to you with that release form.
right.
That's why it's always potential winner when you email them before they become the official winner. And now I don't, um, when it's something small, like when I was giving away swag from my office, if they
Yeah,
messaged me back on Instagram, I just sent them the price. I wasn't going to worry about a $5 item.
right.
But when you're winning something big, especially really big, um, mind you, I have had to fill out release forms for $10 prizes,
Wow.
but still, yeah, it's fun. But
Yeah.
you know, the biggest prize I won was a trip to the Olympics. And so
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
you can believe there was a lot of paperwork to be
Yeah.
sent back before they would officially declare you as a
As a win.
winner for
Wow.
that prize. But yeah, it's so much fun when you're doing that and like emailing somebody to say that they've won a prize.
Yeah.
I love getting the thank you so much. We're so excited. We love it. Da, da, da. You made my day. Like that's just who doesn't want to send emails like that
Of
or
course.
or DMs like that? They're the
Yeah.
best.
Oh yeah, for sure. 100%. I love it. I love it. This has been amazing, Carolyn. I love this episode. It's a lot of times, it's overlooked, and more people should really look into doing more giveaways. There are a lot of businesses that do it, but really, there's still a lot of different industries that haven't really tapped into it 100%, that definitely should. And I think this is a great way. And I'm glad there are people like you who actually help companies actually, help them through the giveaway process and make sure it's successful and show them how to do it the right way. So it turns out to be a really big event that has a lot of positive outcome in it. So, kudos to you. And I love how you're doing this and helping so many businesses, and also helping people, because you're bringing joy into the person's life who's applying for the giveaway, and you're helping businesses grow at the same time. So this is great. I love it. This has been an amazing episode. Thank you so much for coming on this show. And really look forward to your next episode with us, because you talk about such great topics, and they're so interesting.
Thank you for having me because it is actually my absolute favorite thing to talk about. Well, who doesn't? It's all about winning in life. Like
Yeah.
the sponsor wins, the entrant
Yes.
wins, everybody's happy. I mean, we need more of that. And
Oh,
that's why it's my favorite thing to talk about, because I just helping people have more excitement in their lives, whether they are creating something as part of their business or they're winning something, to cheer up their day. It's the best thing to do, and everyone's in a good mood.
100%. And you wrote a book about winning, didn't you?
Yeah, I've got how to, you can't win if you don't enter, and how to win cash cards, trips, and more. And I'm finishing up prizes everywhere. But those are for entrants. One of these days I must write a book for marketers, but I have a publishing company and I have like 10 books in the works. And so I don't know when I would get to that.
Eventually, just put it on your
Eventually.
Yes, yes. Well, this has been amazing. Thank you so much, Carolyn, for coming on the show. I really enjoyed today's episode. You're great.
Thank you so much.
You have a great day.
You too.